conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermaine Buxio.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, Jermaine Buxio. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Thursday evening, the last day of March? How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? I'm going to need some help on Facebook. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. They haven't sent out any notifications, so Facebook is dim. So I need folks to hit that like button. Make sure you share. There's a lot of folks out there who are waiting for tonight's show. So make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you share. If you have a buddy that watches, like many of us that do, you make sure you let them know, hey, I think Mr. Buxio is on. You know that guy that talks a lot of trash? Yeah. Absolutely. So make sure you go ahead and do that for your boy. Absolutely. We got a lot to discuss tonight. We gonna get it in full show. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be really, really crazy. Let me tell you. So make sure you do your due diligence. Matthew Keller says, I was notified on Facebook and here on YouTube. Well, Matthew Keller got it. Matthew, you must win the notification lottery. Absolutely, because there's a whole bunch of folks who are complaining that they don't get notifications. So, brother, let me tell you something. You winning. Absolutely. Man, what a week. What a week, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, a crazy week right now. Crazy. All right, it looks like we're rising a little bit on Facebook. That's good. That's good. Let me go ahead. Let's get rocking. Let's get rocking. First one up. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Don't treat me like a side chick. Don't treat me like your baby mama. Don't treat me like your baby daddy. I know some of y'all got some crazy baby daddies. In and out of jail, gun toting. Yeah, I'm not one of them. No, don't treat me like them. Treat me like your favorite boy toy. You know, the one that goes out with you, never has any money, but looks good. Yeah. Yeah. You know, treat me like that. First one up. I want to go ahead and speak to you guys about a man that is in a whole heap of trouble. Detroit police are looking for this individual. Well, two individuals, I should say. A man pees inside of a Detroit gas station after his credit card declined. Let me say this again. A man takes a piss after his credit card declines inside of a Detroit gas station. No, he didn't go to the restroom. He went right in the lobby. Icky story. Take a look at this. Make sure you do share. Here we go.
Starts peeing on all the...
Oh my goodness, that is so ignorant.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy, ignorant, stupid.
Oh, the things you'll see working the late shift as a gas station clerk.
This is my favorite gas station. I don't pee in there, though.
The mayhem after a dispute over a declined debit card at this Amoco station on Detroit's east side.
We're gonna do the Macarena. Yeah.
The customer in the colorful hoodie decided to leave his mark, literally using a snack rack as a urinal.
Here they go.
His buddy cheers him on as the man stares into the cell phone camera of the clerk, asking,
We on green light?
To answer his question, yup, he is on green light cameras monitored by Detroit police.
If he thinks this is a joke, well, we'll be seeing him pretty soon.
But wait, now the crew helps themselves to some free snacks, even the soiled ones on the ground.
In the bathroom. Don't on my chips. Now I can't buy chips for 2 weeks.
Y'all should be very ashamed of yourself. I wouldn't even come outside, show my face.
It wasn't just his face he showed on the way out before finally leaving, pants down again, this time a full moon for the clerk.
They let you list slide with 5 cents, 10 cents, you know what I mean?
We don't deserve this.
No.
A police report has been filed, and even worse, this video, it's everywhere.
You wanted to be famous? Now you're famous.
Detroit police tell me they have identified the guy you saw in the video relieving himself. They're asking that he turn himself in. Even if he doesn't, they'll find him. Reporting downtown Detroit, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
What do you guys think about this? Crazy! This is crazy. Shout out to Tina Cat Lover B. Thugs, absolutely. Thugs. This is what happens when you're not raised correctly. You're raised by your black mama. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, remember what I always say when you're raised by your good old black mama. What kind of hairstyle do you have? Somebody out there knows. When you're raised by your good old black mama. What hairstyle do you usually have when you're raised by your good old mama? Somebody out there knows. If you've been watching this show, you know. I'm waiting. What hairstyle starts with an S? Somebody out there knows. Somebody. There we go. Denise Hardy. Scriggles. Scriggles in the hair. I don't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Keith. Yeah, it's nappy too, Keith. But I'm saying, I don't make this stuff up. Yeah, shout out to Tina Cat Lover B says curly fries and scriggles. Absolutely. I don't make. Let me go ahead and transition and show y'all. There, you can see the.
Yeah.
The customer in the colorful hoodie decided to leave his mark, literally using a snack rack as a urinal.
Here they go.
His buddy cheers.
You got this black idiot, excuse me. You got this black idiot here holding him while he takes a piss. Now, I've never, had this type of brotherly love in my life where you're taking a piss and the brother next to you come and hold you.
Literally using a snack rack as a urinal.
Here they go.
His buddy cheers him on as the man stares into the cell phone camera of the clerk, asking,
We on green light?
To answer his question, yup.
Absolutely. So when you're raised by your mama, you do stuff like this. Absolutely. You have scriggles in your hair. When you're raised by your good old black mama, scriggles in your hair. You don't care about your last name because your mama don't care about your last name. Right? Your last name don't mean nothing to you and your mama when you're raised by your good old black mama, right? Because legacy don't mean a damn thing. If you had a father, let me tell you something, you wouldn't be doing that. You wouldn't want to disgrace your father like this. You wouldn't want to disgrace your family's name like this. This is the main reason why I speak to women like this, to let them know the reason why it's very, very imperative that your children, no matter how much you hate your drug dealer boyfriend, right? The one that you say he's physically abusive, right? The one that you say he's emotionally abusive. All sorts of dumb stuff that you come up with. It's very imperative for you to get over that dumb stuff and allow your child to have their father in their life. Point blank, period. Because a lot of the times, children grow up without having that sense of importance in their family and their name. And I want the women to understand that. Women don't care about legacy. They don't care about their family name. They don't. If you speak to a woman, that's not in her purview. It's not in her mind. So when things are going on in the family that she's raising, she doesn't look at it from that point of view. That's why it's very important, very important. And we are now living in an age where it's female first, right? They're catering to women everywhere you look. Even female kitty cats are being catered to. We have to start pointing these things out so that things like this can be squashed. Right? I want folks to understand that. Things of this nature come from when you're not raised correctly. That's it. And then the kicker here. The kicker. After they're done pissing, they go ahead and pick up the chips that were on the ground, the piss-filled ground, and take it with them. And then they do a They start, mooning the gas station attendant who was recording. That's the kicker. How evil is that? I hope these guys are caught here. I don't think I'll be able to even go to a gas station like that. Knowing that somebody was up in there pissing and all sorts of stuff. That'll be the last time I frequent that gas station. I can tell you, what a pissy scenario, right? Crazy. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share, ladies and gentlemen. I need your help. I need your help. I need your help. I'm black, and they don't like me. I know there's a lot of black folks who got a black privilege card. I ain't one of them. Yeah, I ain't one of them. I don't have a black privilege card. Yeah. So they don't treat me well, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? They treat me like white people. Yeah. They treat your boy like white people. That's bad. So that's why I need your help. That's why I need your help. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to share. Yeah, that's the only way. And if you can, throw something in the tip jar. Help a brother out. Help me pay for the stream. Keep producing and putting out the content you love and deserve. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Shout out to Katie Walker says, your lips are too big, dramatic. Yeah, my lips are big too. I say this all the time. I got big lips, big nose, big eyes. It takes a lot of energy to run this. I keep saying this. Yeah. Why do you think I'm damn near dead by the end of the show? I'm damn near dead because a brother used all this energy. Bottom lip, upper lip. It's like I'm running a marathon, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know when it's going to end. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. I want to speak about fake racism. Yeah, fake racism. You guys know it. We see it all the time in the U.S. now. Black Americans into finessing whites. I should say gullible whites, because I know there's some white folks out there who don't give a crap. And I know there's some white folks out there who ain't easily tricked by the race game. But let me tell you something. There's some white folks out there who are. We call them rhinos and liberals. Yeah, they're easily finessed by a crying black. Blackie who comes up and start crying. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. Somebody called me a nigger and I didn't know who it was. Mr. White Man, somebody called me a nigger. I can't believe it. I understand, Mr. White Man. I call my friends niggers all the time. I understand that. But that cockazoid person called me a nigger. And I hate him. Yeah. They are easily finessed by those type of blacks. Blackies start crying. Somebody called him an N-word. Somebody called me a nigger. And then that gullible white jumps up real quick. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, Jerome. Jerome, tell me which one of these white folks called you a nigger. We're going to make sure. We're going to make sure we go to our next PTA meeting and get them removed. Yeah. There's a white person out there who is more offended by the N-word than the black. Ain't that crazy? Yeah. I want to go ahead and run this here. A story on fake racism. I want white people to wake up. Wake the hell up. A pair are accused of writing racist graffiti on a wall at Rosemont High School in Los Angeles, in California. Yeah. A pair, 2 teenagers. Let me run this one and come back. I want to speak about this. Here we go.
New tonight, investigators say that they have identified 2 students accused of vandalizing a Sacramento high school with racist graffiti. The message, which included the N-word, was written in pencil on a wall at Rosemont High School 1 week ago today. Deputies went through surveillance video, which they say showed 2 African-American students writing that message. It's now up to the district attorney's office
African Americans
to decide on criminal charges.
Bow. Did y'all hear that? 2 African Americans went and played a race game. They wrote on the wall of the school, "All niggas should die." Right? That's what they wrote. All niggas should die. And let me tell you, that's a sentiment that a lot of people carry. Let me tell you. They wrote, "All niggas should die." School was in an uproar. School looking for some Caucasian teenagers, some white teenagers. Come to find out, it's Blackie trying to get some sympathy. Another Juicy Smollett. Let me run it again. I want you guys to see this. Another Juicy Smollett. Here we go.
New tonight, investigators say that they have identified 2 students accused of vandalizing a Sacramento high school with racist graffiti. The message, which included the N-word, was written in pencil on a wall at Rosemont High School 1 week ago today. Deputies went through surveillance video, which they say showed 2 African-American students writing that message. It's now up to the district attorney's office to decide on criminal charges.
Bow. There you go. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to 2 folks who donated. First shout out goes out to the beautiful Kristen Walker. The beautiful Kristen Walker donated. Shout out to the beautiful Kristen Walker. And Tracy Chandler took our challenge on PayPal. Beautiful women. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And Katie Walker says, for lips. Absolutely. I got the biggest lips, let me tell you. Absolutely. The women like my lips, though. You better believe it. As big as my lips are, let me tell you. Absolutely. You better ask the women. As big as my lips are, they love them. Ain't this crazy? It's super crazy. So now, Juicy Smollett, in my personal opinion, is the poster child, is the example that a lot of these evil folks are using to get attention. We've seen so many of these race hoaxes nowadays. You have to start questioning every time somebody pulls one of these race games. somebody put all niggers should die on a gosh darn wall, gosh darn it, it doesn't mean that the world is over. They were looking for white Americans. And come to find out, it's two black boys who did it. They could have seriously started something at that school. And this is the main reason why America needs to step away from the race crap. They need to. You're wasting too much money, too much time and energy speaking about dumb stuff like this and then making it a news story. And how much you want to bet these black boys won't get charged with anything? How much you want to bet? You think that they're going to really charge them with any race type crime or anything? No, they're not going to charge these black boys with nothing. As a matter of fact, these black boys will probably say, we were just playing. So I want white people to understand something here. You can see black Americans using this so that they can gain some sort of advantage, either politically or economically. That's what they're using this crap for. Somebody calls you a nigga, get over it. Somebody puts all niggers should die, jump off a damn cliff. Who the hell cares? They say, oh, white people should die. There isn't a national story on it. There's blacks tap dancing calling white people Mayo and devil. Charlemagne the God. Almost every episode he puts out, putting down white people. Using all sorts of derogatory names. But yet, no national story. Some black kids put all niggers should die on a wall. All of a sudden, damn near the school, the town, everybody's all up in an uproar. The only people who can put a stop to this damn stuff is white Americans. And I'm letting white people know, as soon as you start saying you don't care about it, all this nigger games that these black folks are playing will go away. They know that there's enough gullible whites out there who are dumb and ridiculous who will definitely buy that story and then capitulate, right? Give up something. And when blacks do this, they want something. Something. And I want white people to have a backbone and say no. They should stop running with the stories. Stop giving these Negroes credence. Stop it. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right? I need your help. I need your help. Certainly do. Next one up. I want to speak to you guys about another high school story here, right? Another race-based crap. All through this nation, through a lot of these high schools, we're starting to see the wussification of America. Students push for harsher punishment for racist, sexist, homophobic comments at a Georgia high school. Georgia students at this high school say that getting suspended and talk to isn't enough for students who are making quote unquote racist and homophobic comments. You see how crazy our world is right now. We are now being word police, not word police. This is what happens when liberals get involved with schooling. This is what happens when women, in a sense, get involved. Women are number one when it comes to censoring things. Number one when it comes to censoring speech that they don't like. Go ahead and ask most men. Most men got to clean up their speech when they're around women. Because if they say something that is quote unquote not liked by her, they can get in trouble. That's I keep saying these things that I'm pointing out is the main reasons why we're in the position we are in. And I want folks to understand that. That's why they push a female first agenda. That's why they separate the men from their children so that women can raise the children, so that the children can have a female mentality. I want people to recognize this. Right? That's why we're getting so much nanny and dumb stuff out here right now. We have to recognize this. Let me run this when I come back. I want to speak about it. Hit that like button. Here we go.
Cobb County students are pushing for stronger punishments for racist, sexist, and homophobic behavior in school. Dozens of students and parents showed up to last night's board meeting to ask them to suspend anyone who says or does something deemed racist, sexist, or homophobic. According to the district's code of conduct, disrespectful remarks about race, ethnicity, or religion are considered a level 1 or 2 offense, which can receive a maximum 10-day suspension. The group says that should be the minimum. They reference a recent incident involving blackface at one of Cobb's high schools.
In my 4 years, there have been concerning comments and instances in regards to race with slurs and blackface from some of my white counterparts, but nothing as heinous as the ones displayed in the last 2 weeks. The students of color at Campbell High School and throughout Cobb County have been dismissed for too long.
The hateful actions we have seen from students are directly and inextricably linked to the past decisions and procedures carried out by this board.
Board members did not immediately address the concerns during the meeting. The group is asking the board for a written response within 30 days, outlining steps to change the code of conduct.
There you go. There you go. And it's always a black kid out there, right? Trying to push this. Right? It's never an Asian kid. It's always a black kid up there running their mouth about blackface and all this other stuff. How come we never see any white kids? Right? How come none of the white kids come up and say, you know what, we've been bullied by the blacks? We can't even say what we want to say. Every time we say something that offends a black person, we're racist. We're sick and tired of it, right? Go ahead and ask the white children. The white children got to capitulate to the black children. How much you want to bet? Right? And when the white children don't capitulate to the black children, when the white children don't think like a lot of these dumb black children, let me tell you something, all of a sudden those white children are racist. White children pointing out the obvious to the black children, they're racist. I want people to understand that. Transgender children, you look weird. Yeah, you look crazy. You look off. You mean to tell me a child can't say that, hey, why are you wearing those funny pants? Those pants are funny, right? They can't make fun of you? Children must now close your eyes and your mouth when you see something that's crazy. That's the way they're training our future generation of children. I want people to understand that. That's what they're doing. And these black children running around here, harsher punishment for somebody saying some words. This is what happened. I keep saying it. Because we have nothing but probably 98% of female teachers is the main reason why we're dealing with this. Women love speaking about their feelings. Women love feelings over reality. They live in feelings. They live in fantasy. And look at our children now. Instead of them to be worried about passing tests, making sure their reading, writing, and arithmetic is up to par, they're worried about somebody calling them a name. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? They're worried about their feelings. They are worried about their feelings. That's a problem. It is. That's an extreme problem. And it's the main reason why America is screwed up right now. It's the main reason. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Jerome Glass says, words only have the power you give it. Words themselves cause no pain. Self-esteem is most important. Absolutely. What are these children going to do once they get into the real world? Once they step out of school and somebody makes fun of you. You can't call the police and say, hey, that person down the street called me a nigger. What are the children going to do when they leave that establishment? Right? A kid gets caught and punished because he said the word nigger. He get out of school. He see the same person. Call him a nigger. What is going to happen? I can tell you nothing. Nothing. Children have to learn to deal with people calling them names. I've had to deal with people calling me names. Calling me black, tar baby, 2 minutes past midnight, all sorts of dumb stuff. Smoke. As a matter of fact, I had some people call me train smoke. Yeah, they added a train in front of the smoke. Blew me away. Yeah. Blew me away. And did I sit here and say, you know what? These people call me tar baby and train smoke. Yeah. They didn't even call me regular smoke. They had to add the train in front of it. These people need to be suspended, expelled, and killed. Right? I didn't do that. You know what I did? I took those names, licked my big ass lips, and started roasting. I learned how to cope with people calling me names. I learned through roasting. That's the way I coped. They call me names. All I gotta do is look at you, right? Yeah, you gonna have something on you that's silly, right? Maybe you have big ass eyes, big nose, awkward ears, right? Maybe one breast is bigger than the other. Trust me, I'll find it. Yeah, maybe you got a crooked left toe. Yeah, I'll find it and I'll roast the hell out of you. So that's all I'm saying. Children need to learn to deal with it. Because in the real world, they can't complain to anybody and get them locked up or some sort of dumb consequence. Doesn't happen. Let's go ahead and move forward. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Lisa Marie Hill. Lisa Marie Hill donates, says, keep flaming. To be honest, I paid to get my lips done. Yep, no shame in my game. Love to all the Conservative Nation family. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. And shout out to Leanne Glass and Jerome Glass from Princeton, Minnesota, says, greetings, fam. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. You know, ladies and gentlemen, there needs to be a roasting class. You get what I'm saying? We bring the students who are insecure. You're insecure about yourself. Let's teach you the art of roasting. You know, roasting, let me tell you something, it boosts your confidence. It really does. Once you know the art of roasting, and people know that you know how to roast, they tend not to mess with you. Absolutely. And once you get really good, and let me tell you, to the point where you can roast a person to the point where they want to kill you, let me tell you something. You've passed roasting then. Yeah. I think students need to learn how to speak back. Somebody calls you a big head, you need to learn how to return the favor. They need to. Because without that, you will always sit there and complain and cry and this and that. Either you complain, either you keep your mouth shut, or you roast. One of the three. And I say, gosh darn it, roast. You roast, trust me, all the name calling will be to a minimum. The only name calling you'll get is from new people who don't know you. Yeah, that's the only folks who will dare challenge you after people know you can roast. And especially when you roast and you have no rules about roasting. That's dangerous. Yeah, you start roasting people on their lives. That's when you start getting into somebody want to kill your territory. Yeah. I'm telling you, roasting is beautiful. I roast with the best. Hit that like button, make sure you share. I want to go ahead and speak to you guys about Chris Rock. Chris Rock. The Oscars, let me tell you, was a catastrophe, right? It was a catastrophe. Wasn't good at all. Chris Rock, I believe, he hasn't got enough sympathy in a sense, and he hasn't. How can I say? He hasn't got the support that I think that he should have. He hasn't. Chris Rock, a lot of people believe that, you know, that whole incident was fake, right? Remember We spoke about that. There's probably still some folks in here who probably think it's fake. Hey, Jermaine, it's fake. Nobody went to jail, right? And I always retort back, do you have that type of cashola? Are you a multi-millionaire? Right? And there, once more again, right? Are you in that tax bracket? Yeah, when you're in that tax bracket, you can do stuff like that. Yeah. Well, Chris Rock, which has not been widely known, and I've been doing some research because I wanted to know why, he leaned in for the, well, it made it look like he leaned in and all sorts of other stuff, right? A lot of people are saying, well, he played into the slap and all sorts of stuff. I can tell you that I don't think he played into it. One thing that Chris Rock has, and let me go ahead and transition, he has a learning disorder, which is not widely spoken about. Chris Rock reveals he has a learning disorder. He has non-verbal learning disorder. Non-verbal learning disorder. I want people to understand that right here. Chris Rock, he has a learning disorder. Now you're saying, Jermaine, what does this learning disorder have to do with anything? I want you to pay attention to why this is so important and the reason why Chris Rock got slapped. I want you to understand it. Non-learning verbal disorder. What it is kids with NLD are very verbal and may not have academic problems until they get into upper grades in school. Often their biggest problem is with social skills. I want people to understand that, right? Social skills. Now you're saying, Jermaine, he's a comedian. I mean, how? Stick with me here. Non-verbal learning disorder is very like Asperger's. It may be the diagnosis of Asperger, AS, and LD simply provide different perspectives on the heterogeneous yet overlapping group of individuals sharing the least common aspects. Now, what happens when you have non-learning verbal disorders? That you cannot recognize verbal cues. Okay? Verbal cues, social cues, right? You can't recognize it. It's how can I say? It's almost like you're socially inept, right? Yeah, it's like you're socially inept in a sense. You cannot recognize social cues. I want people to understand that. And when you cannot recognize social cues, it can be a damage in your life. I want people to understand that it could be damaging in your life. Now, let me go in and transition. Shout out to the producer. She sent me this here. Shout out to the producer. Visual and spatial awareness, high order of comprehension, social communication. It says, most kids with non-verbal learning disorder have trouble reading emotion in facial cues and body language. There you go, right? Let me go ahead. Shout out to the producer. I want people to see this. Most kids with non-verbal learning disorder have trouble reading emotion in facial cues and body language. So when Chris Rock was making these jokes here, he, in a sense, couldn't read how Jada and Will were, feeling about it. And in a sense, he shouldn't have to really read how they're feeling about it because, quote unquote, it's a joke, right? It was a very mild joke. when Will was walking up the stage and his facial expression and his body language showed that he was upset, Chris Rock was smiling, right? He even thought he was probably maybe going to get a hug or a dap. I want people to understand that. So when he got slapped, he was surprised. Right? He was. And it's because of this. So I want people to understand, Will Smith is a punk for this. You hit somebody who was shorter and smaller than you, older than you, right? Chris Rock's only 60 years old. And on top of that, he has a learning disorder, which he can't read facial cues and social cues. So I wanted to point that out there for the people who thought that Chris Rock was playing around. He looked like that because of his learning disorder. I want people to understand that he looked like this because of his learning disorder. Now, D.L. Hughley has gone viral because he, quote unquote, apologized to Chris Rock on Will Smith's behalf. I want you guys to take a look at this. When it come back, we'll finish this up. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share.
That was fabulous. And to me, I have participated in this, so I know it to be true. There has been a lot of attention given to Will's mindset that night. The night that there's a lot of attention given to what must have driven him to this, how he got to this, what he must have been thinking, what was the tipping point. And it's been pretty consistent across the board. I think the one thing that we know for sure is that perspective has been delved into. What I haven't, and I'm sorry about this, given as much attention to, is how Chris must be feeling. Chris is 57, I'm 58, Will is 53. We are all eligible for the early bird special. And an almost 60-year-old man got slapped in front of the world. The world. Everybody saw it. Slapped in front of the world. He'd avoided getting slapped growing up in Brooklyn. He'd avoided getting slapped on the many stages he's been on. But he could not avoid the Oscars. And that makes me sad. And it makes me sad that I've spent time in this chair myself lamenting what Will must have gone through and very little thought as to what Chris must be going through. And the fact that Chris hasn't to date released a statement lets me know that he is dealing with this in some kind of way. There's no doubt that Will has had a level of recrimination. He's been derided, but there also was an outpouring in love and support. He had actors come to his aid after it was over and wipe his tears away. He got to sit down. He got to enjoy the show. He got to laugh at other jokes. He got to get an award that he's been longing for his entire career. He got to be celebrated. He got a standing ovation. He got to go to the after parties and get jiggy with it. And then he got to go home and write an apology. I don't begrudge him that. But I tell you this, I don't think the offense was worth a lifetime of this. Chris Rock will forever be the man who got slapped at the Oscars. Forever. And I don't think the offense matches the punishment. I do not at all. But it has happened. And it will be indelible. We will forget what he said, but never that he got slapped. There may well be a cure for alopecia, but we'll still remember this. We're going to always remember it. And people can say, well, people are going to see his concerts. Do you know that if his concerts were $45 and going okay, and they go to $700 and going through the roof, that tells you that most of those people are not there to support him.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that none of them are, but most of them are coming for the spectacle.
Bow. And that's what it is. Shout out to D.L. Hughley. I give credit where credit's due. Even though D.L. Hughley is a race beta, a gosh darn racist, and let me tell you something, a straight up liar. But, I give credit where credit's due. So you guys see this here, right? I agree with him. You know, I spent a lot of time thinking about what the hell was wrong with Will. And I didn't give much time to think about Chris Rock and what was going on in his mind. How he's affected by this. This man has to forever be known as the man who got slapped in the Oscars. I want folks to understand. That's why I said when people are saying this is fake and stuff like that, like they don't understand the depravity of this. That's why they were able to say that. Especially it being a black man. I mean, gosh darn it. His children have to hear about this, all sorts of dumb stuff. And then he had a show recently. I think he had a show the other day. And there's a whole bunch of fans. Well, I don't know if they're fans, but there's a whole bunch of people who went to Chris Rock's sold out show the other day. And they say they want their money back. I kid you not. Let me go ahead and transition. This comes from FoxNews.com. Fans react after Chris Rock's show in Boston. I want my money back. Ladies and gentlemen, I want my money back. Sold out show. They want their money back. And I want people to understand the reason why they're crying about wanting their money back. People were paying $400 a ticket. I believe it even went upwards to $700 a ticket. I kid you not. It went upwards to $700 a ticket. And people who pay that, they want their money back. And the reason why they want their money back is because Chris Rock never spoke about the incident. People went to his show because they were trying to see if Chris Rock was going to say anything about the incident. They didn't care about him. They didn't care about his show. They were just there for the juicy gossip. And they got nothing. Except for a little bit of some debt. So now, I want folks to think about that. I want you to think about it. If this was staged, why wouldn't Chris Rock even be using it? Why wouldn't he be speaking about this? Now you see where I'm going with it, ladies and gentlemen, right? So all the people who are saying it's staged, can you think about how embarrassing it is now? That everywhere you go, you're the man who got slapped and people want to hear if you're going to talk about it, right? As a matter of fact, you become a walking circus, right? People don't care about your jokes. Will Smith slapped ya. We trying to hear how you feel. I want people to think about that. Because that's what it is right now. He's a walking, talking circus. Is that worth a fake scenario? I want people to understand that. That's why I said the people who were saying it was staged, you don't know black culture. Because if you did, you would never have said. Black folks knew it wasn't staged. White folks believed it was. There was a cultural difference there. I wouldn't want to be the guy to be known to be slapped on the Oscars. And people are buying your tickets because you got slapped. So this is not staged at all. Sorry for the people who thought it was staged. It's not staged. It's not a false flag for people to speak about the slap and not speak about Ukraine. Stop it. Conservatives need to get off that train. Not everything's a false flag. So I just want to point that out there. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Kim Upfold. Kim Upfold donated. Beautiful woman. Shout out to you. Took our challenge on Cash App. Absolutely. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. America 12, you know, I haven't seen you for a while. Next one up. Next one up. I want to speak about Disney. Yeah, I want to speak about Disney. Disney has been in the news for the last couple of days. And it's because of what people have uncovered, what has been leaked. There has been audio leaked from Disney. An employee there leaked some audio that deals with Disney's agenda. Now, for many years, people like myself, people like Jamal, Candace Owen, ABL, pointing out that Disney seems to have some sort of agenda. We showed various movies, right? Movies like The Little Mermaid that show little secret sex scenes, right? We showed movies like Inside Out, right? Where they have little questionable scenes in there. We've showed you TV shows, Disney TV shows, where they, play that game as well. Disney, of course, always denied it. We only care about the kids. And now we get the real truth. Right? We get the real truth. And the truth is Disney has an agenda. They want your children. Disney is set out to groom your children, ladies and gentlemen. Their movies are groomed for it. Everything's set up. Disney wants to turn your children gay. They have a gay agenda. I want you guys to take a look at this viral video put out by Laura Ingraham. Shout out to Laura Ingraham. Shout out to her. Laura Ingraham sits down with an employee from Disney who broke his silence. And let me tell you something, it's bad. It's really bad. We have to start fighting back against the liberal establishment. They have an agenda. Like we've always said, they want to turn your children gay and transgender. They want to ruin your children. Take a look at this. Make sure you do share. All right? Make sure you share. Here we go.
Joining me now is Jose Castillo, who is currently a resort duty manager at the Walt Disney Company. Jose, are you concerned first and foremost about your job security by speaking out here tonight?
Hi, Laura. Thank you for having me on the show. Honestly, no, it's no secret here in Central Florida that I'm running for Congress, that I'm a Disney worker, and I'm a strong conservative. To be honest with you, I'm not concerned about my job because, I think if I were to get fired for my views, I think it would send a wrong message to conservatives, that conservatives would not be welcome at Disney. I know that, right now, it seems like there's a misconception. This is what I tell people. There's a misconception out there that everyone at Disney is just raging liberals. And that I think that could not be farther from the truth. From my perspective as a candidate running for Congress, I have tons of people that work for the Walt Disney Company that reach out to me daily on social media.
Okay, but Jose, this is about this current story. I'm glad you're happy at Disney. But I can tell you what, after people saw what they saw in those videos, they're not happy at all. So I'm glad your job security is there. Good for you. But someone who is a traditional conservative, social conservative, serious Christian, or frankly, any other faith, is now being told that Disney's purpose, political purpose, is to ensure that kindergartners to third grade are taught about sexual orientation. That is the hill that Disney wants to die on after making billions off of families who are traditionalist. That's the problem here. That's the problem.
I think they're making a terrible miscalculation that, ultimately will be bad for business. Their statement says this about the bill that Ron DeSantis passed. They said, our goal as a company is for the law to be repealed by the legislature or struck down by the courts. And, in the left, they talk about democracy after this election. And so what about our democracy right now? The people of Florida, a lot of Disney cast members voted for our state legislature. These are duly elected members of the Florida House of Representatives and the Florida Senate who passed this bill, sent it to the governor, and thank God our governor has the backbone to stand up to companies like mine, Disney, and pass this bill and stand with the people of Florida, stand with the parents, and protect our children.
Well, I can't tell you how many people I heard from today said they're never going to Walt Disney World again. They're not going to Disney World. They're not going to Disneyland. They're not going to spend the thousands of dollars that they're charging at the Star Wars experience at Disney to essentially be told they're a bunch of, anti-LGBT, horrible, awful, rotten people. They're just not going to do that. So, I guess Disney can cobble together their income from non-traditional Americans, but that's going to be a heavy lift. Now, a new poll is saying that a majority of Florida Democrats support its new parental rights bill. So Democrats support the parental rights bill. The numbers are huge. Again, Disney going with the far left extremists, which I can't imagine what Walt Disney would think today.
Well, the reason that's happening is because really there's this saying, squeaky wheel gets the grease, and the small minority within the Walt Disney Company that's part of the LGBT community are screaming the loudest. They're being the loudest. They're being the most vocal.
Absolutely.
So we need conservatives like me here. I'm as a candidate. I'll be as loud as I can, telling people that we need to stand up for our conservative values. And
You're not a
doing
woman.
The same in Congress. But what Disney fails to realize is that we've gotten emails from our executives saying their stance on the bill and whatnot. And what people fail to realize, I knew where they stood already. But there's a lot of people that are disappointed.
So why would you want but why would you want to work at a company where the company essentially thinks that you're a bigot? What they said essentially about Ron DeSantis and all the activists who supported what Disney did was that Ron DeSantis was a bigot. So, again, the message to traditional Americans is you're not welcome here. That's the message Disney is sending out. I'm going to say it very clearly tonight. Everyone's walking around this issue. They do not think that traditional Americans should have a seat at the table or, frankly, even be on corporate boards. I don't know how many conservatives are on the board of Disney today. We should have put their names up on
Probably none.
television tonight. But I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, and corporate America is going to be in for a rude awakening. Thank you, Jose. We really appreciate you speaking out tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity
corporate
here.
America
Hey,
is hedging their bets on the new crop of citizens that are being born. That's what they're doing. Majority of Americans in this country, believe it or not, are left-leaning. I know that hurt a lot of folks out there. A lot of conservatives out there. We are the minority. I want the conservatives to understand we are the minority. I'm not talking about rhinos like Sean Hannity. Right? I'm not speaking about rhinos like them. They're not part of our class. We are the minority. I want you to understand that. Majority of the folks have a left-leaning thought process. That's why Disney and the rest of these companies feel so comfortable to do this. And I can't blame them. Right? You have a culture that is geared towards women. Right? Geared towards emotion-based thinking. We are thinking through logic. They don't care about us. Ain't enough of us out there to complain. Yeah, ain't enough of us. But the liberal lefties, the ones that think crazy and cockamamie like that, there's a whole bunch of them. Absolutely. They know that most of the children nowadays are being raised by mama. Most of the children think, act, and feel like a woman. Women are more accepting when it comes to transgenders and homosexuality. They don't care about us. They know that we gonna die. They betting on the 35 and under. I want people to understand that. That's why there isn't a big uproar. Something like this come out, there should be an uproar from here to Pakistan. But there isn't. That should let you know something. Disney also knows that they're a part of the Luciferian Club. Yeah, they all work in concert with each other. Fox News, CNN, all these folks do. They're part of the Luciferian Club. So they know that they're going to have cover. What other news station out there is condemning this type of behavior from Disney? What other news station is saying, hey, Disney is trying to influence your children to do something that is abnormal, right? They're trying to get your children to act abnormally. And when you look at the LGBTQ community, it's less than 3% of our population. So they're doing something very evil, and it's not being expressed like that. And the main reason why they're able to, once more again, one day somebody famous gonna catch what I'm saying and they're gonna run with it, and I'm gonna have to put up my hat. The main reason why they're able to do it is because of the female thought process. Think, act, and feel like a woman. I want you to understand that. I just can't express that enough. I cannot express that enough. Most of our children think like women. So they can pass this very easily. They don't care about us. And that needs to be really, really told. It really does. It's evil and it's not right. People are wondering what Disney said. Let me go ahead and run this clip here. When it come back, we'll finish this Disney woke agenda revealed in leak audio. I want you guys to take a look at this. Coming from Fox News. Here we go.
Meantime, in other news, remember last week we told you a story about how a number of Disney employees walked off the job last week because they felt that Disney did not do enough to oppose a bill that passed in Florida. It's HB House Bill 1557. And what that bill does, because it has been signed by Governor DeSantis, is it prohibits teachers from providing instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity to children between the ages of kindergarten and third grade. So they just don't want teachers talking to kindergartners, first, second, and third graders about sexual orientation or gender identity. So that we knew for sure because that was in public where they walked off the job. But now Chris Rufo, a journalist, posted on Twitter some videos that show pretty much exactly what Disney behind the scenes is thinking. Watch this.
Roberts and like our leadership over there has been so welcoming to like my like not at all secret gay agenda. And so like I feel like I felt like it was, I mean, like maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess like something must have happened in the last like they're turning it around, they're going hard. And then all that like momentum that I felt, like that sense of I don't have to be afraid to like, let's have these two characters kiss. Let's in the background. Like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud of them. But like I just was like, no one would stop me, and no one was trying to stop me.
So it's
wow. There you go, Teresa. Now you see. Now you know what Disney said. You caught what Disney said now, huh? Black woman saying that Disney is open to her not so secret gay agenda. She's adding queerness wherever she can look. You heard her, right? She adding queerness here, queerness there. Look, underneath a car, queerness. Behind the bushes, queerness. In your closet, queerness. What? Underneath my hat. Gosh darn it, queerness. She adding queerness everywhere. That's not what parents want out of children's movies. And the thing is, and let me go in and show this. The Walt Disney Company has a communist phrase right here. You see it? The Walt Disney Company, reimagine tomorrow. Reimagine tomorrow. That is a communist phrase. Every time you hear Democrats, liberals who are retarded, they love to say, you know what? We should just reimagine America. You know, we reimagine the Constitution. This reimagine word means to break down and get rid of, and then install a dark vision from their fantasy. That's what reimagine means. I want people to understand that. That's how reimagine means. And it's evil. John Lennon says, remember how gays wanted marriage, so our government under Obama gave in. They got an inch and now they want domination. Absolutely. All the gays wanted was to get married. Right? We want to be seen as equal. They were already equal. Right? We want to get married because, you know, if I'm with my partner and I die, I'm not going to be able to pass off any benefits. Right? And then we said, well, why don't we just do this? We'll put partner benefits in there. They didn't want that. You remember that, John, right? We said, you know what? Y'all can have a partnership. We even came down to a part. Y'all can have a partnership. We won't call it marriage. Have a partnership. Even a lot of these companies, insurance companies, started rewriting policies just to appease the gay folks. They were like, no, they still didn't want it. They wanted marriage, right? Because they know it's under the covenant of God. That's why they wanted it. They were giving it, and now look at what they're doing. 3% of the population pushing an abnormal lifestyle. And I don't care who gets mad at me, it's abnormal. I want you to look up what the word abnormal means. Look it up. Go to a dictionary. Look up what abnormal means. Because homosexuality is abnormal. I know that hurts a lot of folks out there, right? Because you haven't heard it like this before. 3%, right? Less than 3%. That's abnormal. And they're trying to push something abnormal to try to make it normal. It's not right. And I want the people who are, who think in that manner, right? You're living that lifestyle. I want you to ask yourself, why is it so abnormal? Yeah, haven't anybody, wanted to really think about that question and ponder it? Why is this, homosexuality, LGBTQ, everything that falls underneath that umbrella, why is it only 3%? If it's so natural and everything else, right? Why is it less than 3%? Because I would think that would be more. And once you start to ponder why, right? Why is it only 3%? If you left people alone, it'd be probably less than 2%. Why is it? And I can tell you, because the normal individual, the natural person that came from God, doesn't think and behave in that manner. That's what it comes down to. And I think the people who are in that lifestyle, they don't want to hear it because it hurts their feelings. The gays back in the day used to know this. That's why they used to be in the closet. The guys used to be called cross-dressers. They knew it was an abnormal lifestyle. They knew that it wasn't right, but yet they weren't pushing the abnormal lifestyle on their children. They weren't pushing the abnormal lifestyle on people around them. The gays back in the day never used to do that. They weren't pushing their abnormal lifestyle on folks. The gay of today is pushing their abnormal lifestyle every which way they look. As a matter of fact, the way the liberals are running it, if you're not gay, there's something wrong with you. Haven't you guys noticed that? If that's the way liberals are acting now. If you're not gay or queer and not a tranny, there's something wrong with you. That's wrong. They're making the normal person feel like they're abnormal. And it's not right. So people need to wake up to that. So I wanted people to see this. Disney, what they're talking about, how evil their company is. It's incumbent on Americans to stand up for what is right. And again, I said, Disney is hedging their bets on the younger generation. The younger generation is more susceptible to, the queer lifestyle. They're more accepting of it. Right? You speak to the young folks about homosexuality and all sorts of other stuff. They don't see nothing wrong with it. They are hedging on those folks, not you. Not you at all. Trust me. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Teresa Cerna. Teresa Cerna donated, took our challenge on Cash App. Shout out to Teresa. Shout out to Teresa. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Make sure you do. Next one up. And let me go ahead and move this here. I'm gonna like this one. I'm definitely gonna like this one. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Coming from thehill.com. I'm going to have some fun with this one. I am. Coming from thehill.com. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. Transitioning. Coming from thehill.com. Representative Cawthorn claims people in D.C. have invited him to orgies and done cocaine in front of them. Ew. And he's a Republican. Let me read a little bit. Representative Madison Cawthorn out of North Carolina, Republican, claimed in an interview posted Thursday that fellow lawmakers invited him to an orgy and done cocaine in front of him. The remarks from Cawthorn, 26, who is in his 14th month as a congressman, has developed a reputation. This is serious. Developed a reputation for unpredictable statements. Came in context of a discussion about whether a Warrior Poet Society podcast host John Lovell's words, House of Cards was a fictitious show, or is it closer to the documentary? The only thing that isn't accurate about the show is that you could never get a piece of legislation about education passed that quickly, Cawthorn told Lavelle. I look at these people, a lot of them that I've looked up to through my life. I've always paid attention to politics, Cawthorn said. Then all of a sudden you get invited to, well, hey, we're going to have this kind of sexual get together at one of our homes. You should come. I'm like, what did you just ask me to come to? Cawthorn added, and then he realized they are asking him to come to an orgy. Cawthorn also claimed to have seen other people leading anti-addiction efforts doing cocaine in front of him. I believe it. I believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Hell yeah, I believe it. This is or the fact that, you know, some of the people that are leading the movement tried to remove addiction in our country, then watch them do, a key bump of cocaine right in front of you. It's like, wow, this is wild, he told Lavelle. And then Cawthorn, in another set of recent remarks, supporters described Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as a thug who presided over incredible evil government. Now, I just want to go ahead and say this. I absolutely believe everything that this man's saying. because I've heard it myself from people in D.C. I've heard it. I heard it from guys in D.C. Absolutely. You know the movie Eyes Wide Shut? I think I spoke about that movie on this program before. Yeah. It's just like that. Cocaine-filled orgies, right? And trust and believe. Trust and believe is bipartisan. Yeah. Liberals, Democrats, and Republicans. Absolutely. When the rich get party, they party with cocaine and drugs and orgies. Absolutely. Anybody who's thinking that Washington elite don't do crazy stuff, you're smoking. If you've watched a lot of Roman films, right? They even show this in the Roman times, where the senators would be going to these bathhouses and they'd have orgies and all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, it's real. Absolutely. And the Republicans, Kevin McCarthy, he's trying to, stop, Cawthorn from running his mouth. Because if Cawthorn starts naming names and stuff like that, it will go straight up to the top. People that you look up to in Congress are snorting cocaine and having orgies. The ones that are standing there, quote unquote, fighting and passing laws that deal with drug convictions and, drugs and all sorts of stuff, snorting cocaine and laughing. Right? Remember I told you about false compassion. Remember I told you that was a thing? Right? The appearance to care. That most people are merely fooled by just the appearance of somebody caring. Right? But not actually caring. Yeah. If you read, and I put this book out there plenty of time, maybe some folks have read it. The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. If you've never read that book, read it. It's a very dangerous book. Teach you how psychology works. Teach you how people, work in real life. Very dangerous. Teach you how to manipulate folks. It's a very dangerous book. Just the appearance to care is all you need to fool most people. And that's what people in Congress do all the time. Liberal lefties are very good at it. They bring emotion because emotion is the appearance to care. Republicans aren't too good at it, because they're left-leaning in their brain. They're logical thinkers, so they only bring out the emotion when it's warranted. That's how you're supposed to do it. Liberal lefties, they know that most people think through emotion nowadays, right? So they know that just the appearance to care will trick most folks. Now, I want to go ahead and run this clip here. I got a couple of clips to speak about Cawthorn here because this is a big story that they're trying to run from. I want you guys to take a look at this. Coming from Next News.
I'm much less interested in the politics and much more interested in whether this talk of drugs and orgies in Washington, D.C. is actually accurate. Joining me now is Judy Kurtz, the In the Know columnist for The Hill. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, so bottom line, have you heard about these orgies and drug-fueled events?
Dan, I thought that the first rule of Washington's underground sex and cocaine party scene was that we don't talk about Washington's underground sex and cocaine party scene. Listen, right. There are a lot of state secrets here in D.C., but if there are wild sex parties going on with lawmakers, they're keeping those under wraps more than the nuclear codes at this point.
Right, because part of what you do, right, is suss out what people are saying, what people are whispering about in D.C., right? And the bottom line is that, at least as of now, you haven't heard about these drug parties.
Look how he's speaking about it.
I've covered the inner workings of Washington for The Hill for more than a decade. I'm from Washington. And, this isn't breaking news. There are sex, there are drugs in D.C.
There you go.
But that being said, everyone that I've talked to said Washington isn't really like House of Cards, isn't some like dark and sinister drama. It's more like Veep. It's more full of absurdity, of goofiness, of weird situations.
There you go, and I'm going to stop it right here. So thank you for playing. She's playing the game too. Nobody wants to be on record to say that, yeah, it is like House of Cards. Yeah, yes, it is. Very nasty folks. And the main reason why, and people want to know why, drugs and sex orgies, right? You want to know why. Have you heard of a guy named Jeffrey Epstein? Have you heard of a guy by the name of Jeffrey Epstein, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, have you heard of a guy by the name of Jeffrey Epstein? Well, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein was in the same game. Blackmail baby. Bliggity blackmail. Sex orgies, drugs. Blackish, maleish. I want you guys to understand that. Remember I told you that everybody has a vice? Remember I told you that? Yeah. And in Washington, let me tell you, a lot of people's vices are drugs, sex, and all sorts of crazy stuff. One thing that they do in Washington to try to get members to shut their mouth when they see things that are, how can I say, not so right, is to get them compromised. Cawthorn right here, I don't know if he's an idiot or he just wanted to, blow the lid. I don't know. But they were trying to compromise him. You go to the orgy, you do a little blow, bingo, bango, they got ya. Any bill that they need help on, you gonna pass that sucker because you don't want your significant other, you don't want any pictures going out, you don't want anything crazy being said about you. Right? I want folks to understand that. Blackmail. Same thing what Jeffrey Epstein was into. Grabbing rich and powerful folks. Seeing what they were into. Right? And most of the rich men, they were into little girls. He knew that. And once they entered that island, once he supplied the little girls, he can get those rich folks to do whatever he wants. Maybe, supply a couple million here and there. Fund some, some sort of, new adventure that he got going on. That's the way it works. That's why when you go to Washington, you wonder why nothing gets passed. You're wondering why people vote a certain way. You're wondering why this and that, right? You're wondering why people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are getting hell. They're not inviting Marjorie Taylor Greene to the orgies. They're not inviting her to take a key bump or blow. No. So that is what it is. You see how evil Washington is? All the way to the top. Kevin McCarthy came out today and tried to slam dunk on this. He said that doesn't believe what he's saying. Never seen anything. Kevin McCarthy playing the game. I want you guys to take a look at this quick video coming from MSNBC. There's a guy on there who's a dweeb. I forgot what his name is. Let me see here.
Congressional Republicans are so mad.
Chris Hayes, dweeb. Dork. Not funny. Gosh darn sucks. I want you guys to listen to his report here. When it come back, I want to speak about it. Here we go.
Congressman Madison Cawthorn of North Carolina, not for the reasons that you watching the show might be. They're not upset that he has been accused by multiple women of sexual harassment, inappropriate behavior, allegations he denies. They're not mad he has suggested armed citizens should topple the U.S. government in a violent revolution, or that he once tweeted out an article comparing Black Lives Matter to Nazis. None of those things seem to get Cawthorn's fellow Republicans upset, because they are accustomed to a certain amount of inexcusable behavior from congressional trolls like Cawthorn and Lauren Boebert of Colorado, Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, yada, yada, yada. No, Cawthorn is in trouble for these comments he recently made on a right-wing podcast.
Look at all these people. A lot of them that I've looked up to through my life. I've always paid attention to politics, guys that, then all of a sudden you get invited to, like, well, hey, we're going to have kind of a sexual get-together at one of our homes. You should come. And I'm like, what did you just ask me to come to? Yeah. And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy. Yeah. Or the fact that, there's some of the people that are leading on the movement to try and remove, addiction in our country. And then you watch them do, a key bump of cocaine right in front of you.
There's so much you could say about that. I really like the doll with the blue hair right behind his shoulder there. Now, I have no idea if those statements are true or not. The closest we have to anything like it at all is public reporting in the Daily Beast last May that 2 witnesses allegedly saw Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida using cocaine at a party after a 2019 fundraiser. Gaetz's office did not return a request from the Daily Beast for comment on that specific allegation. And to be perfectly honest, I don't really care one way or the other. But Cawthorn's fellow Republicans do, and it is telling that these comments, these are the ones that get Congressman Cawthorn in trouble. Republican leader Kevin McCarthy of California reportedly disciplined Cawthorn like a disappointed father, telling the 26-year-old he needed to earn his trust back and claiming that Cawthorn told him he embellished his comments. Cawthorn embellishing? Psh. Now, McCarthy spoke out so forcefully because his caucus is demanding it. According to Politico, members of the far-right House Freedom Caucus have reportedly considered kicking Cawthorn out of the group. Republican Congressman Steve Womack of Arkansas, who is 65 years old, complained he is now fielding questions from constituents about orgies. And that last point isn't all that surprising. Here's what happened. Cawthorn's allegations on a right-wing podcast of shadowy sex parties got caught up in the QAnon updraft that these folks have been stoking for years, playing right into the Republican base's belief the so-called deep state swamp is full of these depraved degenerates. It's still notable Cawthorn is being so swiftly rebuked by McCarthy and others in his party, while, say, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene emerged relatively unscathed after she attended a white nationalist conference with a man who once delivered an
let me go ahead and
riff
stop it right here. So Chris Hayes is an idiot. Remember I told you he's a dweeb and a dork. Not funny at all, just dumb and ridiculous. But he makes a notable point here that Republicans are jumping all over this, right? If it wasn't true, You wouldn't even waste your time dealing with this, right? Giving it any attention. And to tell you the truth, nobody really gave it any attention until the Republicans started going crazy. Because it's one of their own. Cawthorn wasn't supposed to be speaking about stuff like this, right? He wasn't supposed to be speaking about any of this type of stuff. Because the people that vote for the Republicans don't want to vote for people who are into that type of stuff that he's talking about. And I'm letting you know there's a lot of Republicans who are into that stuff that Cawthorn's talking about. Where they're doing sex orgies, they're sitting there looking at little girls, they're sniffing blow, all sorts of stuff while they're trying to act astute in front of the public. They're doing that. It's just like the movie Eyes Wide Shut. Just like House of Cards. These folks here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm letting you know they're very evil. Very evil folks. They don't care about you or me. They care about their pocketbook. That is it. They will vote to increase their wage, vote to keep their Cadillac health care, while they make you poor and poor every day. So Cawthorn right now is being reprimanded for telling the truth. You got Kevin McCarthy right now being forceful by saying, no, this type of stuff doesn't happen. Yeah, it does. And probably McCarthy is probably the head ringleader. Who knows? From what I've been told, McCarthy lives with another man. And in another room, he has a room that looked like the Oval Office where he sit there butt naked in the Oval Office doing some crazy stuff. Absolutely. Kevin McCarthy. Don't believe me? Go look it up. There's people who tell this story. I don't make this stuff up. That's why when this man is speaking like this, he ain't making up a lie. Most of these people who are doing this, once you find out, you will never vote for them again. It will change your mind about the people in Congress. It will, and they know it. That's why they know that if this really gets out, it will blow the stack on a lot of stuff. It will. And this is bipartisan. I want people to understand that first and foremost. Don't think it's just quote unquote liberals or just no, it's by both of them. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Next one up. I want to speak about Mariupol. Mariupol in Ukraine. There are reports that the Ukrainian soldiers are using the Ukrainian citizens that are left there as human shields. This is the report. I'm so cool that I got an interview. Well, I didn't do the interview, but I got a video of an interview that was done with Ukrainian citizens. And they explain how the Ukrainian soldiers are using them. How the government doesn't care about them. This is a shocking narrative that is in, how can I say, direct conflict with the globalist narrative. It's an evil game that the globalists are playing. and they're trying to play to win. I want you guys to take a look at this video when it come back. I want to speak about it. It's very important that you share this video. Very important, because there's a narrative out there that Russia is evil as sin. There's a narrative that Ukrainian, there's so much humanitarian people and all sorts of other stuff. It's a damn lie. And I want people to see what the truth is, for people to make up their own mind on what's going on. I want you guys to take a look at this when it come back. We shall speak about it. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share it. Do me a solid. Share. Here we go.
We made it to an apartment block here in Mariupol, and it's a very hard situation. The people are living hell here.
Зеленского, остановите это, остановите, ради детей, ради матерей, стариков, остановите это все.
Кто отсюда стреляет?
Вот тут стояли украинские танки, прямо под домом, украинские танки. Он стрельнет, они его, видно, увидят, и начинает, артиллерия вот там стоит и шпарит по дому. Вы видели? Вы видели, что на 9-м они выскакивали с ребенком тоже, выскакивали пенсионера, дедушку. Они вытягивали с 9-го этажа, он пока тут еще...
Let me stop it right here. You know what? I keep thinking that y'all speak Ukrainian. Yeah, I'm thinking that y'all speaking Ukrainian stuff like this. Yeah, man, I'm bad. Hold on. Let me go ahead and.
We made it to an apartment
All
block
right, here we go. I want you guys to take a
Mariupol.
look at this. Sorry about that. I know. I'm thinking you guys speak Ukrainian. I'll put the Ukrainian version on. My bad. Yeah, I keep doing it. Do y'all speak Russian? Y'all don't speak Russian either? Man, that's crazy. Well, my bad. Let's go ahead and restart it. I got the subtitles. Here we go. Make sure you shout.
We made it to an apartment block here in Mariupol, and it's a very hard situation. The people are living hell here.
Зеленского, остановите это, остановите, ради детей, ради матерей, стариков, остановите это все.
Кто отсюда стреляет?
Вот тут стояли украинские танки, прямо под домом, украинские танки. Он стрельнет, они его, видно, увидят, и начинает, артиллерия вот там стоит и шпарит по дому. Вы видели? Вы видели, что на 9-м они выскакивали с ребенком тоже, выскакивали пенсионера, дедушку. Они вытягивали с 9-го этажа, пока тут еще люди были, на носилках вытягивали. Девочка у нас медик, вот.
I want to stop it here for a quick second. Did you guys just catch that? She's saying that Ukrainian tanks shot at some people. All right. And then they also pulled them out on a stretcher. Go ahead. Go for it.
Вы видите, что падает? Ветер и все падает. Девочка, медик, работает во второй больнице, она работала. Она пошла, потому что 3-й дом, там сгорел же вот эти дома, 9-этажки. Она пошла, украла, вы понимаете, она говорит, украла, я, говорит, украла вот эту коляску. Чтобы перевести, женщина на 1-м этаже, горит дом, они ее, вот ребята пошли, в коляску в эту привезли вот на 3-й этаж. Вот она лежит, она не ходячая, ее привезли хорошо. Она говорит, уже ребята российские, говорит, помогли, говорит, коляску мне, говорит, украсть. Украсть, вы понимаете? Я говорю, я в 70 лет воровкой стала. Я проработала водителем троллейбуса, 40 лет я водителем троллейбуса проработала. Меня тут все знают, весь город меня знает, я на всех маршрутах работала. Все вот даже встречают. Петровна, Ирочка, баба Ира, все меня знают. И вы понимаете, и что это, я сейчас людям, я не могу ничего, я всегда их успокаивала, всегда это. Ну что такое 40 лет я проработала водителем? Я всех людей знаю. Всех, я на всех маршрутах работала по городу. Тут город небольшой, вы знаете. И сейчас я бомжихой стала, я бомжихой. Пенсию мне Украина дала, я 40 лет проработала, мне 1500 пенсию. А наши, которые умные люди, уезжали в Россию. В Россию. И на наши деньги они получали. По 15 тысяч они когда вернулись.
Wow. Stop it there. So, in Ukraine, she worked 40 years. 40 years as a bus driver. I want people to understand, 40 years as a bus driver, her pension every month was $1,500. I don't know what their money is called. I'm not even going to attempt it. She's saying that their smart Ukrainian folks went to Russia and they received tenfold of what she's being paid in her pension here. Right? She calls them effing, I'm not going to say that word, but you know what the deal is. Let that sink in of how, quote unquote, good Ukrainian government is to their people. Going forward.
15 тысяч. А я не уехала никуда. И я получила украинскую пенсию 1500, блядь. От этих пидорасов, блядь.
Можно сказать, где был украинский стрелец? Где?
Вот, идите сюда. Вот, даже видите, вот, вы видите, вот они ехали. Вот они ехали. Это украинские, да? Украинские, да. Посмотрите, вот, они вот тут стояли. Вон, вы видите, разрушили. Ага. Они вот тут стояли, между этим, вот на аллейке вот тут. Вон, посмотрите, что они понаделали.
And for people who don't know, let me go ahead and let you know. She's showing the destruction of the Ukrainian soldiers. Ukrainian soldiers came to Mariupol and they started shooting at the buildings. I want folks to understand. They used the Ukrainian people as shields and they started shooting at the buildings and they blamed Russians for it. That's how evil the Ukrainian soldiers are. Going for it.
Посмотрите, вот, они вот тут стояли между этим и этим. Они вот тут катались, одного, вот тут вон, парня, вон первый этаж, снаряд попал, это, так мертвый и лежит парень.
Сейчас?
Да, вот, первый этаж, мертвый парень так и лежит. Они их поймают.
Ты знаешь, что это Азов?
Да, да, украинские танки были. Украинские танки.
Мы слышали, Азов был на крыше, это правда или нет? На крыше дома?
Поднимались, а у нас нет. Вот в соседнем доме были они на крыше. Их приходил командир, искал, а говорит, наших тут 3 человека. Мы говорим, у нас, они пришли к нам, ночь переночевали, вот, и ушли. Ага. Вот. Ночь переночевали, ушли. Ага. И вот это вы видите, что? А там вот по аллейке, у нас тут такая аллея красивая, садик, садик только отремонтировали детям. 2 года, вы посмотрите, все разгромили, все разгромили. Ради чего, ради чего и ради кого?
Wow. And I'm going to stop it right here. So, this woman here tells what's going on. That the Ukrainian soldiers, the Azov battalion, are using the citizens there as shields. They are also destroying buildings that are around there and shooting at the buildings, killing civilians. And then what they're doing is that they're using the media and blaming Russia for it. I want you guys to understand this. This is what's going on. And nobody is speaking about this in our Western media. They're not speaking about how crazy this is. So the Ukrainian government, the Ukrainian military, they're staging false flags and they're blaming Russia. They're doing this so that they can get more support, sympathy, and money. Right? That's exactly the reason why they are doing this. And it's evil. It's absolutely evil. And then she tells you how the Ukrainian government treats them. She worked 40 years as a bus driver. Her pension is 1,500 hryvnias. I believe that's how you say it. The Ukrainian money, hryvnias. She says that the smart Ukrainian people left Ukraine, went to Russia. Their pension is tenfold of what she has there. She's living in squalor. And we're fighting for what? What, we want to give them money to maintain this? To have the government shoot at their own citizens and blame Russia? My goodness gracious. I'm telling you, the world we are living in. The world we are living in. Let's go ahead and move forward. I wanted people to see that because this is very important here. There's a narrative out there that Russia is so evil. But yet, you see the fake stories in the propaganda. You see the fake numbers coming out, right? We killed 10,000 Russians, but we still need $1 billion to this. And then the other day, I showed you guys a video of Ukrainian soldiers shooting and killing Russian POWs with our good friend Jamal. So these folks, they're doing something very evil. And they're trying to gain sympathy, pushing a fake narrative, and trying to get our hard-earned U.S. dollars. We need to say no to Congress. We do. Let me go ahead and give some folks a shout out here. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Y Star. Come from Fred and Yvonne Garrison. Says, keep preaching, brother. Shout out to y'all. Let me go ahead and give y'all the customaries. Absolutely. The money, shout out to Linda Andrew, says money sent will line Zelensky's pockets. Absolutely. The money being sent will line his pockets, Joe Biden's pockets, a whole bunch of folks' pockets. There's even a rumor that the money being sent is to pay off Joe Biden and the rest of these people to get out of Ukraine. That's what is being said in Washington by some friends of mine who are in there. Absolutely. So when I said that they're sending money to redistribute wealth, I wasn't lying. Come to find out, Jermaine cracked the code once more again. These people are out there. We are paying politicians to get the hell out of Ukraine. That's exactly what this money is for. I want you guys to understand that. And it's very evil. It's very evil. Moving forward, there's another evil man. Last but not least, that I need to speak to you guys about tonight. His daddy is Mr. Magoo. You guys know his daddy, right? Mr. Magoo. Nickname Can't Get Right. Some people put hashtag FJB. Some people say, let's go Brandon. You know who he is, right? Yeah. Hunter Biden in the news. And no, it's not for his whoredom or crack addiction. It's for the laptop of hell and taxes. Something that catches every criminal up. Even Al Capone. Al Capone never got caught with any crime. Yeah, Al Capone. FBI couldn't get him. Chicago cops couldn't get, nobody could get him. Except for the IRS. Yeah. The IRS. Yeah. Got Capone. He was supposed to claim money from ill-gotten gains. You guys know that law that everybody passes around tax time? Yeah, if you made money selling drugs, you got to report it to the government. Well, that's how Al Capone got caught up. They specifically passed that law for him. That's how much of a gangster he was. He's so much of a gangster, they passed the law specifically so that they can catch Al Capone. Because or he would have just kept growing and growing. Yeah, taxes. No matter who you are, you will always be caught by Uncle Sam. I want you guys to take a look at this when it come back. I want to speak about a federal probe into Biden's taxes intensifies. Take a look.
Now to the federal probe into Hunter Biden over his taxes. Sources tell ABC News it has intensified in recent weeks, with the grand jury hearing testimony about the business dealings of the president's son. Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is in Washington with the latest. Good morning, Pierre.
Michael, good morning. Today, there's mounting evidence that the Justice Department's investigation into the tax affairs and financial dealings of the president's son has been intensifying.
Sources telling ABC News a steady spate of witnesses has been appearing before a federal grand jury seated in Wilmington, Delaware, with more expected in the coming weeks. The target, Hunter Biden. This is the FBI and federal prosecutors focus on Hunter Biden's tax payments and his work overseas, including business deals in China and his ties to Ukrainian energy giant Burisma. According to sources, among the critical questions, did Hunter Biden follow the rules and register as a lobbyist for a foreign entity? Biden served on the Burisma board when his father was vice president, something he admitted to ABC's Amy Robach was a mistake.
At the time, you never thought, this might not look right.
You know what? I'm a human. And you know what? Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But did I make a mistake based upon some unethical lapse? Absolutely not.
Republicans in recent days pushing for more scrutiny of Hunter Biden.
During his confirmation hearings, Attorney General Merrick Garland vowed there would be no White House interference in this investigation. Whether charges are brought or not, this will be one of the most scrutinized cases during Garland's time in office. Guys?
Certainly will. Pierre, thank you.
Merrick Garland ain't going to do a damn thing. Merrick Garland, who looked like a sissy, ain't going to do a damn thing. Ain't going to do a damn thing. Bill Barr, William Barr, his ass need to be grass. He knew about the laptop from hell. He knew about all this crazy stuff with his taxes, kept it all under wraps. Merrick Garland, The sucker that went after parents because they were complaining about CRT, he's on the case. I don't trust them. Don't trust them. Not at all. Just like I don't trust Fox News. Did you guys hear about their new anchor? Their new Fox News contributor? Let me go in and show you. I made a post on my page here about it. Let me show you who Fox News hired. Let me show you. Caitlyn Jenner, a.k.a. Bruce Jenner, joins Fox News as a contributor. I am humbled by this unique opportunity. Caitlyn Jenner, Fox News, leading the woke train. But getting back to Mr. Hunter, we'll speak about Caitlyn Jenner at the end here. This federal probe into Hunter Biden's taxes, I believe, will bring something about. Even though I don't trust Merrick Garland, one thing I do know: taxes catches every criminal up. Every criminal up. And the taxes he owes is hefty. I think that maybe he'll get maybe he'll get a deal, but he will be charged with something. He will. Being the president's son, I'm sure will, get him some sort of favor. But I'm letting you know, he will get something. Had this been Trump's kid, Trump's son, either Eric or Don Jr., they would have made a huge stink about this. They would have. Huge. They would have said, well, this means that their whole family is corrupt. They would have been reaching for the stars. Hunter Biden does something like this corrupt, you don't hear nothing. You hear crickets. They downplay it. Just like when Hunter Biden called his lawyer a nigger. He called him a nigger, and guess what? They downplayed it too. Oh, that's the president's son. I mean, we don't really care about that, right? So that's what it is. Now, getting back to Caitlyn Jenner here. And I have to end with this. Fox News, how can they go around and point their finger and, even speak about anything being woke when you have hired a transgender person? Once you have done that, you cannot even speak about being woke again. You have given credence to somebody who's confused. You have given credence to the woke movement. I want people to understand. Fox News has given credence to the woke movement. You cannot sit there and speak about anybody being woke when you've done something like this. And I want people to see it once more again. Caitlyn Jenner joins Fox News as contributor. How can you go around and speak about anything being woke as a company when you've hired the most woke thing walking around? I want folks to understand that. Somebody said, well, Jermaine, Caitlyn Jenner is against guys being in women's sports. I don't care. Is Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner against fake-ass females or men trying to pretend to be a woman? Is he against that? Right? Is he against pretending to be a woman, throwing on a dress? Like being a woman is a costume. I want people to understand that. There's so many conservatives who are just, their brain is just fried when it comes to this transgender stuff. Bruce Jenner says something that you agree with, yeah, you still can't call him out. I don't care what this guy says. He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I want people to understand that. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So Fox News gone. Gone. You hired Bruce Jenner. I don't want to hear any more woke shit coming from y'all. You can't run your mouth about anything woke. You can't say you're sitting here and you support women's rights when you hired a transgender, somebody who's pretending, playing a role as a woman. How does that even work? Crazy. Fox News, you may be even worse than CNN now. At least CNN don't got no transgender gosh darn anchors up there. They have no transgender contributor. You done ran and grabbed a tranny. This is gonna get me kicked off. Gosh darn it. See what happens when I start getting upset? Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for tonight. That is our show. I want to thank everybody and their mama for coming out, hanging out with me. I want to thank everybody. 2 hours of hell. Did I tell you I had a 2-hour show for you, Flames of Fury? Absolutely. I want to thank everybody for hitting that like button. Everybody for sharing. Sharon the librarian, you ain't got a wrench. What the hell's going on? Let me go ahead and get you a wrench here. All right, Sharon, you got a wrench. Shout out to you. I'll be on tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central. Come and hang out with me. Come and have a drink, Should be a good time. It's Friday, I'm going to run my mouth. So come and hang out with us. All right? So I want to thank everybody and their mama's mama for coming out, hanging out with us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. All right? So that's what it is. Shout out to Danielle. Yurka says, yes, they're going to lose ratings. Absolutely. That's just crazy to me. You cannot run your mouth about anything woke when you've hired a transgender. It blow my mind. Blow it. Fox News just lets you know who they are. That's all that is. Ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. You guys have a very good night, and I'll catch you guys here later with another edition of Conservative Nation. Love ya and good night.